Alright, I'm doing a review on the 1994 Fantastic Four movie. Jesus, Jesus. Somebody should pay me for watching this thing. In case you don't know, I'm sure everybody does, but this film. Okay, this film was put into production just a few days before losing the company lost its was going to lose its rights to the film, and they rushed production just to hold on to the rights. The film was never meant to be anything more than a reason to hold on to the rights. Of course, everybody casted and all that didn't really know that, and these poor actors that were thinking that this was going to be a thing. Oh God, this movie. Now, to be fair, it is pretty accurate in certain things. Reed and Doom, they're in college together. The experiment goes wrong that they're doing together. It ends with the presumed death of Doom here in the movie. And and it shows Sue and Johnny when they're younger. Uh, she's got a crush on Reed. Uh, Jesus, man, this movie. There were things about it that the production value is really ridiculously low. The quality, the props, the technology, everything in here is pretty bad. Special effects, they do have some balls though to go full on flame on Human Torch, which looks very, very bad when he goes flying off into space trying to chase this rocket or whatever. Jesus, the uh, the thing's face is actually pretty expressive, surprisingly, but geez, there's so much cringe in here. The cringe is unreal. The level of cringe is just off the charts. There's a lot of awkward pauses. The music, dear God, the music would not shut up. It was overly sappy, overly dramatic. Oh, just way, way, way too much music and way. It's just Jesus Christ. The characters seem to just overtly fall in love. Like Ben runs into the blonde woman Alicia from the comics. He runs into her, breaks her little thing, and like she feels his face and he's all like, "Oh, I love her," to Reed already just based off meeting her. Like I'm in love with her. I'm in love with her. And later in the movie, oh, when she's being held hostage, Ben's like, and to be fair, the only thing that she knows about him, if I was paying attention correctly, the only thing she knows about him is from that one encounter where he broke her statue. He broke her artwork, and she felt his face, and then that was it. She like abruptly walked off on him after he went to go pick up the pieces and give it to. They were believed to be dead after the whole their shuttle exploding in space, and she hears about that he's dead, and she has these new sculptures brought in that's like she feels the face. She's supposed to be making a monument to them, and she feels the face, and it feels like Ben's face or whatever, and that's how she realizes that he's dead or he's the one that died. Uh, and then later in the sewers, when she's held hostage, because and I'll explain how she got held hostage, but she's being held hostage, and Ben like shows up and he's like, "Let her go," and all this and that. And she's like, "Ben, no, I love you." At least I think that's what she says. I was like, and this causes him to revert from the thing back to Ben Grimm, uh, which isn't a thing that exists in the comic. And then he's vulnerable, so he has to take off running before he gets shot. Goes outside, he starts screaming, and then he turns back into the Thing. I guess that does make sense if he can just revert back to himself based off love, since the whole thing about him being the Thing is he's a hardhead. He always uses brawn over brains, and with the ways the other ones can turn it off and on their powers, use them at their will. I guess that makes sense. That's different from other interpretations, but and Moman's in here, but he's not exactly He is Moman, but they call him the jeweler because there was a little confusion about the rights of the character, so they call him the jeweler, and he just wants this Alicia girl. So he steals this diamond from Reed's labs. He's like jumping through this laser grid. Uh, this he wants this jewel for this girl Alicia that he's stalking, spying on, and so he ends up sicking his little mole people to go steal her and bring her to him, thinking this jewel's gonna win her over. Uh, it's fairly accurate portrayal of Mole Man, a decent one. As for Doom, uh, I think this guy actually, I think it's the same guy that's actually in the Shield, the Nick Fury Shield movie with David Hasselhoff. That, like, Nick Fury just runs out of the tunnel and kicks him in the balls and starts attacking him. That's a whole different, another cheesy movie in the '90s that looks like it's got a '70s or early '80s production too. But they do get the Fantastic Four costumes, and they're accurate. After they get their powers, so here's what happens: they intend to go into space. He's got this jewel, and it's related to the accident that happened years ago. They were studying, and it led to Victor having his accident, and the doctors there told Reed that Victor was dead, but Victor wasn't really dead. So 10 years later, Reed's planning to go into space. He gets Ben Grimm to be his pilot. What the? Anyways, so they go to the sort of orphanage home or whatever that the other two were at, and he's like, "Why are we getting them to come with us into space? They're not qualified." And he's like, "Oh, come on, just let them come." That's what Ben. That's the logic Ben has. But anyways, he says some really cheesy line. He's like, "Oh," Ben says to the woman, "Can they come out to space with us?" Like in a really cheesy way, and that woman's like, "Well, that's up." And before they all leave together, she's like, "Look at you all, the Fantastic Four." It's just the cringe, the cheese, man. Uh, so they all go into space together. Before they do go into space, the jewel gets switched out by Mole Man, and Doctor Doom had intended to steal it himself. But when he saw his men saw the surveillance, saw that Mole Man was still, he's like, "Let's just see what this guy does with it." And the Mole Man replaces it with a replica. So Doom just lets them go at it. Let them go. Let them die in space because they don't have the right jewel or whatever. I didn't pay too much attention to the science of it because I was sitting here and I was trying very hard to watch this because it is a challenge. It is a challenge, and like I said, I should be paid just for watching this. I can understand why they wanted to keep this in a vault, why they wanted to keep this out of public. Uh, but it is fairly accurate in terms of like origins and characters and stuff. It does do pretty good with that stuff, but it's very cheesy. The action, dear God, the action. And Ben Grimm, every time he starts getting in a fight, he's like, "Yeah!" I was like, "What the hell?" It's just, It gets really hyped about it. Uh, Johnny's powers, he only flames on once, fully head to toe. Uh, and that's the stuff, that rocket thingy, but he's mostly like shooting cheesy fire looking powers. And Sue's mostly just going invisible when two guys come at her from one on each side, and they either end up running in together or shooting each other while she's dug down invisible. Very bad powers for Sue. I mean, she doesn't do any force field stuff. Uh, and they immediately, after they defeat Doctor Doom, immediately it just jumps to a scene where they're getting married, like they're on their way and they're in the limo, and you see Reed's ridiculous arm just waving by through the through the sunroof, just long as hell, looking like a wacky waving inflatable tube man. Jesus. Oh, what else? What else? God. Oh, this movie was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. Say what you want about the Fantastic Four in 2005. Dear God, this one. I don't know. It may be better than the Fan Four. What was that? What do they refer to that one? The Fan Four Stick. It may be better than that one. I've never bothered to watch that one before, but this one was pretty bad. There was a lot of the music, just maybe if the music wasn't so overly loud on every scene, like overly sappy, overly dramatic, overly ridiculous, maybe this movie could have been a lot better. I'd like to, well, I wouldn't like to, but I could watch a version of this movie without the music over every damn scene, and it would probably be better. It would, without a doubt, be better without that damn music. And the awkward pauses these actors have in situations, and the way they just express these over dramatic feelings for each other. Oh, dear God. Somebody pay me for watching this. Anyways, I'm gonna give this movie a 1 out of 10. Uh, like, subscribe, comment. Uh, stay awesome. Rock on.